Tonight, there is breaking news as we come on the air. Iran's counterattack tonight on Israel. The dramatic images coming in, explosions echoing across Tel Aviv now. Iran's retaliation tonight comes just hours after Israel launched a massive assault on Iran. New images tonight, Israel hitting Iran's nuclear program. Military leaders and scientists killed. Tonight, Iran's retaliation now. The U.S. helping to defend Israel. And President Trump talking to ABC News. What he's now saying about this massive Israeli attack on Iran. What the president told our John Carl. Late today, the Israeli military releasing video showing the interception of an Iranian drone. Tonight, Israel's spy agency showing how Israeli agents attacked Iran from within. And Martha Raddatz and what she's just learned about the Iranian generals and scientists who were killed in a matter of minutes. Here in the U.S. tonight, the immigration showdowns. Outside New York City, the dramatic moments. Outside a privately run ICE facility. Jumping in front of moving buses in Newark. 50 inmates mounting a revolt inside. 4 detainees escaping. The new warning tonight in New York City. In Los Angeles, the first wave of U.S. Marines now taking up positions. And police across the U.S. tonight on alert now ahead of tomorrow's National Day of Protest. Tonight, the interview. You will hear from the lone passenger who survived that horrific crash of that Boeing 787 Dreamliner, sitting in seat 11A, describing crawling out of the wreckage, saying he witnessed passengers dying all around him. And he describes what happened in those final moments in the air, what it felt like inside that plane. James Longman at the crash site tonight. Back here in the U.S., the judge in the Sean Diddy Combs trial dismissing juror number 6. Why that juror suddenly raised concerns, and then the defense trying to convince the judge to allow the juror to come back. What is this about? Tonight, the eve of President Trump's military parade through Washington, D.C., coinciding with his 79th birthday. More than 6,000 soldiers, dozens of tanks, fighter jets, and now heavy storms looming over the parade, costing taxpayers $45 million. Tonight, what the U.S. Army says about concerns going into the event. Tonight, the former NFL star wanted for attempted murder, what Antonio Brown is accused of. And with Father's Day almost here, the fathers who were holding their phones, capturing the moment when suddenly they were overcome. What happened right before their eyes, and you'll see it.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and we begin tonight with the breaking news as we come on the air. Iran now and its counterattack against Israel tonight, responding now just hours after that massive Israeli attack on Iran, targeting Iran's nuclear program, killing military leaders and scientists. And now, as we're on the air tonight, this counterattack from Iran, Israel's military officials saying all of Israel is under fire. The U.S. now defending Israel, helping to strike those Iranian missiles down. The images coming in tonight. Now, this is the skyline of Tel Aviv as those Iranian missiles closed in. Israel's air defense system striking most of them down, but not all. Late today, the Israeli military releasing this video showing the interception of an Iranian drone right here. Hours earlier, Israeli missiles striking Iran's main nuclear enrichment site, one of several nuclear facilities hit. A precision Israeli attack on an apartment building in Tehran, airstrikes killing those top generals and nuclear scientists within a matter of minutes. More than 200 Israeli aircraft striking more than 100 targets, its largest military operation since 1967. And the covert operations inside Iran, Israeli spies smuggling explosives in, deploying them inside Iran overnight. Tonight, Israel now saying their operation is just beginning, vowing more to come. And President Trump talking to ABC News what he's now saying about this massive Israeli attack. Marcus Moore leading us off tonight from Tel Aviv.
Tonight, Iran's retaliation has begun, responding to Israel's sweeping attack by raining down missiles on Tel Aviv, fireballs seen across the skyline, and buildings in flames. Israel in a state of emergency as Israelis gather in shelters. Explosions heard in the skies above Tel Aviv and Jerusalem as Israel's air defense systems intercept Iranian rockets. The IDF releasing this video, they say, shows the interception of an Iranian drone. But as this video posted online shows, some Iranian missiles still making it through to Israel, smashing into buildings. And tonight, we are learning the United States is now helping Israel defend itself. American officials telling us the U.S. also shooting down missiles targeting Israel. Israel had long telegraphed its intentions to strike Iran, but the campaign itself breathtaking in its planning and execution. More than 200 aircraft hitting some 100 targets, including Iran's main nuclear enrichment facility in Natanz. But that wasn't all. Israeli spies from the Mossad intelligence agency had secretly infiltrated Iran, smuggling in explosive drones and other weapons. The Israelis releasing this video, they say, shows Mossad commandos planting devices that would then take out Iran's air defense systems. Israel also killing Iran's top military leaders and government scientists. The general in charge of the entire Iranian armed forces, the head of the country's ballistic missile program, both dead. Israel calls the operation a, quote, preemptive attack.
Israel launched Operation Rising Lion.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu declaring Iran's nuclear program, quote, a clear and present danger to Israel's very survival, warning this is just the start of what will be a days-long military campaign. Netanyahu saying the U.S. knew of its plans, quote, we informed them in advance, they knew about the attack. Just hours before the strikes, President Trump publicly urging Israel to hold off to give his team more time to negotiate with Iran.
As long as I think there is an agreement, I don't want them going in because I think that would blow it. Might help it, actually, but it also could blow it.
Soon after the attack began, the administration insisting Israel acted on its own. Secretary of State Marco Rubio saying, quote, we are not involved in strikes against Iran, warning Iran should not target U.S. interest or personnel. But today, the president telling ABC's John Carl Israel's attack was, quote, excellent, saying of Iran, we gave them a chance and they didn't take it. They got hit hard, very hard, and there's more to come, a lot more. For its part, Iran says it's just begun to fight back. Iran's supreme leader saying they started the work and started the war. We will not allow them to escape safely from this great crime they committed. Iran saying its, quote, powerful response will make the enemy regret its foolish actions. And tonight, Iran's response underway. As Iranian missiles fall, the Israeli Defense Force posting all of Israel is under fire. David, search and rescue operations have been underway tonight here in Tel Aviv. The search for people who may be trapped in the rubble of those damaged buildings. And tonight, Israeli officials making it clear their military campaign against Iran is just beginning. David.
Marcus Moore leading us off from Tel Aviv. Thank you. President Trump talking to ABC News tonight and what he's now saying about this Israeli attack. Let's bring in ABC's chief Washington correspondent Jonathan Karl live there at the White House. John, of course, you talked with the president. We heard President Trump this week publicly warn Israel not to do this. In your phone call, he called the attack excellent. That was his word, saying Iran had its chance. Any indication, how much did the U.S. know here? When did the U.S. know? Israel now saying it told the U.S.
Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu said point blank that he told the Trump administration that the attack was coming. And late this afternoon, President Trump told Reuters, this is an exact quote, we knew just about everything. David, we don't know when the United States was informed, but I can tell you this. U.S. officials I spoke to in the 24 to 36 hours before the attack had a clear sense of what was coming. They may not have known the exact details, but they knew that an Israeli attack on Iran was imminent.
John Karl live at the White House after talking with the president. John, thank you. We're also learning more tonight about the Israeli operation inside Iran. Martha Raddatz learning that those top generals and nuclear scientists were targeted and killed in just a matter of minutes. This was very fast. So let's bring in Martha tonight. And Martha, what more do you know about how this unfolded?
David, these strikes were a major blow to Iran's military chain of command and nuclear program. At least 7 killed in a remarkable operation that took out all these leaders, as you said, in a matter of minutes, according to a source familiar with the intelligence. The source telling ABC that some were killed with drones targeting their homes, some with pre-planted explosives, and some, quote, by other means. The source saying Iranians are trying to replace the leaders, but are in a total panic and struggling. David?
Martha Raddatz on this as well. Our thanks to you and John tonight. We're going to turn now to the other major news this Friday evening, the immigration showdowns, tensions rising ahead of the day of planned protests in the U.S., more than 1,800 planned coast to coast. Outside New York City tonight, the dramatic moments outside a privately run ICE facility. This is at Newark right here. People jumping in front of moving buses, 50 inmates mounting a revolt inside, 4 detainees escaping. In Los Angeles tonight, active duty Marines are now on duty with the National Guard. ABC's Matt Gutman from Los Angeles tonight.
Tonight, anger and desperation outside this privately run ICE facility in Newark, New Jersey. Protesters and families of detainees jumping in front of moving buses, trying to stop their loved ones from being transferred. This woman refusing to let go until authorities pulled her off the front of the bus. That showdown coming following a night of clashes after 50 inmates reportedly mounted a revolt over conditions inside and access to food, allegedly overpowering guards who then used pepper spray. When it was all over, officials say they discovered 4 detainees had escaped through an exterior wall. New Jersey members of Congress then trying to get a look inside.
This is a perfect example of the shoddiness of this plan. This is a symbol for the brokenness of the Trump administration plan when it comes to immigration.
Homeland Security officials denying reports of unrest and poor conditions. They say the men who escaped are dangerous criminals in the country illegally, offering a $10,000 reward leading to their capture. And from those images of chaos in Newark, New Jersey, to Los Angeles, where tonight hundreds of U.S. Marines have now joined the National Guard.
It's been 30 years since we've seen Marines here in Los Angeles, boots on the ground. And right now, these Marines are manning a checkpoint just outside of the federal building here, checking people's IDs.
It follows a legal victory for President Trump, at least for now. An appeals court delaying an order from a federal judge to return control of California's National Guard back to Governor Gavin Newsom.
Clearly, there's no invasion, there's no rebellion. It's absurd.
And tonight, from coast to coast, police are gearing up for 1,800 so-called No Kings protests against the president this weekend, a response to his military parade. And in New York City, the mayor today putting protesters on notice.
While we always respect and protect the right to peaceful protest, there would be zero tolerance for crime, blocking traffic, graffiti, or disorderly behavior.
And David, just minutes ago, the LAPD also saying they will not tolerate violence or vandalism, that they made over 500 arrests so far this week, and that a curfew will remain in effect for parts of downtown Los Angeles through the weekend here. David.
Matt Gutman live in Los Angeles again tonight. Matt, thank you. We turn now to the interview. Tonight, the incredible story of that lone survivor of that horrific plane crash in India. That man, of course, in seat 11A, as we reported last night here, in one of the emergency rows of that plane, now describing crawling out of the wreckage, saying he witnessed passengers dying all around him. Tonight, what he says about what happened in those final moments in the air and what it felt like inside that plane. James Longman from the crash site in India tonight.
Tonight, the man who miraculously walked away from this horrific air disaster, speaking out. Vishwash Ramesh, the sole survivor, was in seat 11A of the emergency exit row. He told Indian state media he thought he'd died, but when he opened his eyes, he unbuckled his seatbelt and started crawling, squeezing out as he watched others die around him.
Emergency door is broken. Yeah. My seat is broken. Yeah. Then I see the pace a little bit. Yeah. Then I will try to come out. I'm not jumping. Okay. I just walk out, innit? Okay. Then ambulance coming in.
Ramesh says shortly after takeoff, it felt like the plane came to a standstill in midair for 5 to 10 seconds, and green and white lights came on inside the cabin. He said he could feel the engine thrust increasing to go up, but the plane dropped and crashed instead. The other 241 people on board, including his brother, all killed.
Did the aircraft catch fire before you came out?
Yes. Okay. A little bit fire. After me, I'm out, then blast.
This is the first ever crash of a Boeing 787, and tonight authorities recovered the black boxes of the Air India jet inside the tail, wedged into a building.
What's going to be looked at by the investigators is that the landing gear was down when it should have been up, and it appears that the flaps, which should have been down, were up.
Hundreds, thousands of people live in this neighborhood. It's packed with people. I'm just 100 yards or so away from where I am. That is the fuselage of the plane.
Krish lives here. He was playing cricket with friends when the plane came down.
Mind-blowing. I never seen in my life this type of scenes.
And David, the Civil Aviation Authority today instructed Air India to carry out additional safety checks on all its Dreamliners. This is as a team from the NTSB is expected to arrive here over the weekend. David?
James Longman reporting from India tonight. James, thank you. Back here in the U.S. in New York City, the trial of Sean Diddy Combs. The drama tonight over the judge dismissing juror 6 today and why that juror suddenly raised concerns. And then the defense trying to convince the judge to allow the juror to come back. Here's Aaron Katursky.
A dramatic conclusion to today's proceedings in the Sean Combs trial, the judge dismissing a juror from the case, then promising to reconsider after objections from the defense. Judge Arun Subramanian tossed juror number 6 over inconsistencies in his answers to a basic question: where do you live? The 41-year-old man said during jury selection he lived in the Bronx, but he recently mentioned he had moved to New Jersey. And when questioned, the judge said the juror gave changing answers that raised concerns about his candor and whether he made a deliberate attempt to get himself onto the jury. The defense argued removing the man who was black would make the jury less diverse, and the judge promised to think about it. The day was dramatic from the start. Ye, the rapper formerly known as Kanye West, walked into court causing a scene and saying he was there to support Sean Combs. He did not get into the main courtroom and left after 20 minutes.
Aaron Katursky back with us tonight. Of course, that's the Sean Combs case tonight. I want to turn to another trial you're following as well, Aaron, the Karen Reed trial in Boston. I know the first day of deliberations now done.
Now done, and after about 2 hours, no verdict. The jury's being asked up near Boston, David, to decide whether Karen Reed drunkenly killed her police officer boyfriend by backing into him with her SUV and leaving him for dead. They'll be back at it on Monday, David.
Aaron Katursky back with us on a Friday night. Aaron, thank you. When we come back here, the former NFL star now wanted for attempted murder. What we're learning at this hour. And then the new concern tonight over the military parade in Washington, D.C. tomorrow, coinciding with the president's 79th birthday. In a moment. Tonight, the weather concerns on the eve of President Trump's military parade through Washington, D.C., coinciding with his 79th birthday. More than 6,000 soldiers, dozens of tanks, fighter jets, costing taxpayers $45 million. Heavy storms now possible, raising concern over possible lightning and whether aircraft flight could be affected. Tonight, the U.S. Army telling ABC News the parade will take place, rain or shine. When we come back here tonight, the former NFL star now wanted for attempted murder tonight, and what we're now learning about this. Tonight, authorities say former NFL star Antonio Brown is now wanted for attempted murder in Miami. According to the warrant for his arrest, the charge stems from a shooting during a celebrity boxing event. He was briefly detained. Brown claims several people were trying to rob him. When we come back tonight, Father's Day almost here, and the dads holding their phones, recording their kids, when all of a sudden, they couldn't believe what they were seeing. Finally tonight here, our persons of the week, the dads recording with their phones, suddenly overcome. Tonight, with Father's Day this Sunday, the incredible gifts already given by high school graduates, turning their moment into one for Dad. In Granbury, Texas, near Fort Worth, that's stepdad Joey Lee Owl, proudly recording his stepdaughter Sterling's high school graduation. He has been raising her for 11 years, raising her as his own daughter. And so at her graduation, Sterling wanted him to know how much he means to her. When they call her name, he realizes that was his name, too.
Sterling Madison Dunnigan Layout.
Her stepfather hearing the last name, his own, and then wiping away tears. Right here tonight.
Hey, David.
Joey, or as Sterling calls him, Dad.
To parents that are out there that have stepkids, show them you love them. Don't just tell them you love them.
And joining us too.
Hi, David. I'm Mom.
Hi, David. I'm Sterling.
Mom Kelly and that new grad, proud daughter, Sterling.
We are family and we love each other and we're there for each other, and that's really all that matters.
And in Covington, Louisiana, outside New Orleans, that's Vincent Ficara at his stepson's high school class ring ceremony for graduation. Stepdad Vincent proudly capturing the moment when it happens to him too.
Christopher Ficara.
That stepfather hearing his own name. He has been raising that boy since he was little. His stepson legally changing his last name to honor his stepdad. And right here tonight,
hey, David.
Dad, Vincent.
As everybody saw in the video, I fell apart. And I did because I couldn't explain the wave of emotion going through me. I've raised him as my own. I love him with everything in me.
And joining us too, his son Caleb, on why he did it.
I wanted to surprise him for Father's Day, actually. I changed my name because he's always been a father figure to me. He's taught me everything about life. I just love him.
While back in Texas tonight, the other grad, Sterling, with her own Father's Day message.
To all the dads out there, you do not have to be blood to be a father. Happy Father's Day, and thank you, David.
Thank you. We love our dads and our stepdads. Happy Father's Day. Good night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.